clickety-click, Wednesday, March 2nd, as we're going to try, fingers crossed, to be able to finish out the Olympians. Let's see how well it goes. And Hat Day coming up on Friday for $1. And speeches coming up next week. Speeches next week. And this is the thing that's having trouble focusing. Focus. Yay. Alright. Then, without all the fancy stuff that goes into it, we'll just see how well it's in your brain. This one's, again, not looking up there. Let's go with, I'll just do the hand signs and see how well you guys can do it. We have
Zeus. King of gods.
Kills babies.
Poseidon. King of
The meter. King of Hermes.
And cereal.
Hephaestus.
Blacksmith.
Ares. Our war. God of war.
Aries this way.
Ares, God of war.
Skip this, jump. Read it, and next one is
God of Moon and Honey.
God of moon and hunting.
you have to say the name.
Apollo. Artemis.
What's the other guy's name?
Apollo.
Once again, and you have to do the hand motion. Saying the wrong thing repeatedly does not make it right. Artemis, hand motion, staring at me is not there. You go. After Artemis is
Apollo.
Sun
and Hottie.
once again where the hand motions come in. Special job. Yay!
We got Cuties, the movie's scary a little bit.
Then we got to
Aphrodite.
It has a cat on it.
Aphrodite.
King of Honey.
Don't spoil it.
With Aphrodite's, I'll try not to spoil. We have her going back to what weapon does Kronos use to overthrow his father?
Scythe.
Scythe. And every time he does the choppy, the little bits come falling down. One of the bits hits with water, and instead of forming a monster, what does it form?
A
Beautiful woman. And that beautiful woman turns out to be Aphrodite, who spends years and years floating out in the ocean. In thousands of years, past all the big wars, past Zeus being born, past all the Olympians coming into power. And one day she goes from water onto the land, and her feet hit the beach. And as soon as her foot hits the land, who knows she exists? Zeus, who realizes that she exists because she's a hot woman, comes running down there, creepily decides that he is going to bring her back to his house so that he can just stare at her, because that's what every girl wants to be awkwardly stared at. And nothing gets done on Mount Olympus because everyone spends their time staring at her, either because they want to date her or kill her. So Zeus decides to solve this problem. What does she have to do?
Banish her.
No.
Marry her.
Get married. And then do we get to who she's going to marry?
Hephaestus.
Zeus says, all right, you get to get married. Aphrodite gets all excited. She's like, yeah, I can't wait to choose my husband. And Zeus goes, no. And Zeus decides he is going to choose her husband for her. Her first question is, do I get to marry you? He goes, me? No, I'm already married. I have a wife, the angry woman who's staring at you right there. That would be completely wrong. Winky. She goes, ooh, do I get to marry the guy over there juggling fish with the hot dogs on the stick? And like, nope, you don't get to marry him. He had his chance and he missed it. She's like, ooh, the guy in the background in all black with the black fingernails who's listening to My Chemical Romance, and nope, don't get to listen to him. Ooh, do I get to marry the good-looking guy that's over there who stubbed his toe and is now crying? Like, no, you don't get to marry him either. She's like, ooh, the guy with all the sunlight coming out from behind him who's good-looking and his hair is just blowing into it. So she goes, no, not him. She goes, kind of running out of people to marry. The only one left is the creepy-looking hunchback sitting over here. Zeus goes, oh, are you kidding? She goes, nope. So who is it she gets to marry? Hephaestus. And so Aphrodite gets to marry Hephaestus. She is not happy. Hephaestus is. Zeus goes, hey, sorry for crippling you for life. Your gift is you get to marry a hot girl. Hephaestus goes, wee. Aphrodite goes, ooh. So she celebrates her marriage by doing what any new wife does, getting a boyfriend. And so she decides it's time to get a boyfriend. And the boyfriend she decides on is the one she knows will irritate her husband the most, because who is it Hephaestus hates the most? Ares. And so she immediately begins dating Ares, which is why back here above Hero I have the three posters. We have Aphrodite, And then the person she's married to is Hephaestus, and the person she's dating is Ares. So I put those three next to each other to try and help remind you. And then over here, as I actually pointed out earlier, you have Hephaestus sitting next to his wife, Aphrodite, who's lovingly looking up there while he looks like he wants to kill him. And then that's Hestia in the background going, it's okay, they're big fat jerk faces. Because Aphrodite was a big fat jerk face. She was not a good person. Really pretty on the outside, really nasty on the inside. So because of that, even though she becomes the god of
Love.
and beauty, she is not a good person. She was a bad person. So Aphrodite is the god of love and beauty, which once again, the Greeks showing their love of irony, the fact that she doesn't really love anybody, the fact that she doesn't really know what love is, but she can cause others to fall in love because of her beauty. And the hand sign for this one, you're going to take the hand like we did for Hera, except bend your fingers, take your other hand, bend those fingers, and you bring those two arcs together, and it makes a little heart. Just like that. Or some people can do like the weird, I don't know, creepy heart thing. Like that. If you have trouble doing that one also, then you can just take your two hands and you go, it's a heart, and then just put it right there, and that works also.
Does this work?
Works for me. Okay. So you have Aphrodite, god of love and beauty, Rebecca.
Did Aphrodite actually like Ares, or did you just pick him because it would make him
Back and forth. When you're that shallow and that horrible person, she really only loved one person, and that was herself. But then anyone else that was really attractive probably came in second. And so Apollo was not going to have any of that, because even though Apollo had issues, like, you're total crazy. But Ares was like, I love crazy. And so he and her got along really well. Issues. Our next one we've already mentioned once, and that's because she was born from Zeus's brain. She was a brain baby. And which Olympian's a brain baby? Athena. And because she's a brain baby, what's the main thing she's the god of?
And victory.
Wisdom.
And so to help you remember her story, we're going to point to her birthplace. And her birthplace is in Zeus's brain. So Athena pointing to the brain. And here's your trick question that I've had no kid get right so far today on the first try. At this point in the story, how many thrones do we have left open? Alana is incorrect.
0.
Nope, also incorrect.
Wait, hold on.
Gardner,
1.
can you explain why?
Say that. One of them, was it Hestia?
It was a Hestia.
Yeah, she still has a throne.
Is correct. Those 10 plus Hestia still has a throne. So Hestia's still listed. She's just not up there right now. So Zeus has one throne left to fill in.
Why are there 2 up there then?
Because we haven't finished the stories yet.
You said.
Right. One. I know words and attention. So at this point, Zeus decides that he's not going to be friends with Titans because that gets him into trouble. So he decides to make a good choice and become friends with a nymph instead. Nymphs were the little elf-like creatures. And so one day, Zeus goes down and finds himself a nymph by the name of Maya, M-A-I-A. And he just shows her like, hey, nymph, I'm Zeus. And she goes, yay! And friendliness happens. The problem with nymphs and friendliness is apparently they're different than Titans and humans. The nymph, as soon as she's friendly with Zeus, she gets pregnant. That same day, she goes, Zeus, I'm pregnant. He goes, what? And then a few minutes later, she goes, Zeus, I just gave birth. He goes, what? And so she goes from friendly to pregnant to birth all in the same day. And she gives birth to a little baby by the name of Hermes. And this little baby, Hermes, is born. Zeus realizes that even though the mom is a nymph, he's still a little worried about Hera might react to everything. So he goes, listen, dear, I'm going to need you to hide yourself so that my wife doesn't find out you exist because she'll probably kill you. And if you don't want to die, we need to keep you a secret. So let's take you and hide you in a cave. And Maya's like, a cave? And he's like, yes, deep in a cave. And so he takes Maya and the baby and hides them deep into a cave. He goes, all right, I will come back and find you tomorrow or the day after, and I'll see what I can do. I have to come up with a plan. She goes, okay, I'm a little tired. And she lays down to take a nap. And baby Hermes has a bit of a attention problem and a little bit of hyperactivity, and baby Hermes can't sit still. His mom falls asleep, and Hermes goes, time to explore the cave, because he's already 45 minutes old. And when you're 45 minutes old, it's time to start running around. So Hermes starts running around the cave, picking up random rocks and then throwing them, and random skulls and then throwing them. And then by the time he gets to be an hour and a half old, he's time to go exploring. So he decides to leave the cave and go out into the nearby woods to find out what's out there. Because you don't want to get to the ripe old age of 2 hours old and not explore the world. So Hermes takes off to explore the nearby woods. As he's going through the woods in his wee little diaper, he finds this big open area in the trees in the woods. And when he gets to the big open area in the trees woods, he finds glow-in-the-dark cows. And he gets all excited. He's like, ooh, glow-in-the-dark moo-moos. Because by the time you're 2.5 hours old, you can talk. And so he finds the glow-in-the-dark moo-moos, and he gets all excited and does what any small child would do when they find glow-in-the-dark cows in the middle of an empty forest: steal them. And so he goes, moo-moos, you're coming with me. And so he picks up a stick and starts hitting the cows in the butt, and whack-a-da, 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 moo. And he leads them back up to his cave. Gets back up to the cave and realizes he does not want to get caught. So he tells the cows to be quiet as they sneak past Maya. He goes, be quiet, moo-moos. Moo, quieter. Moo, good job. And he takes all the cows and hides them into the back of the cave. He goes, stay there. And they go, moo. And he goes, good job. He then realizes any time that you get a gift like this, that's such a wonderful thing, you should sacrifice to the gods as a way of saying thank you. So he decides to sacrifice one of the cows to the gods. So he goes back there and picks a cow, eeny, meeny, moony, miny, and then grabs a random cow, moo, and brings it up to the front of the cave. To sacrifice it, he pulls out his dagger that every small child has. I mean, now he's 4 hours old. Of course he has a dagger. That's ridiculous. And pulls out his dagger and sacrifices the cow. Moo! 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 And then takes the big pile of cow guts. Mighty gods, thank you. And throws them to the side. It's been an exhausting 5 hours for him. So he decides it's time to lay down and take a nap. So he goes over to where his mom is, lays down, falls asleep. A couple hours later, in the empty clearing where the cows were, Apollo shows up. And Apollo walks up and goes, my majestic cow! Where are my cows? And the entire place is empty. Can't figure out what happened to him. Eventually manages to track the cows down by talking to random nymphs along the way. And he's like, have you seen my cows? Like, yeah, baby stole them. He's like, that's hilarious. We're like, no, it's a baby. And so eventually they point him to this big cave up on the side of a cliff. And he goes up to the cave, and Apollo walks in and sees a lady sleeping in the corner, and a small baby curled up next to her, and the remains of a giant destroyed cow. Apollo flips out. He's like, you killed my cow. It was a magic sacred cow. It glowed in the dark. So he goes over to the lady who's sleeping and starts kicking her awake. Hey, wake up! And Maya wakes up. He's like, why are you kicking me? He's like, why did you kill my cow? Maya goes, dude, I did not kill your cow. He goes, pile of cow guts. Maya goes, there's a dead cow! He goes, exactly. And they start yelling at each other back and forth. Why'd you kill my cow? I didn't kill your cow. Their yelling wakes up little Hermes. Little baby Hermes wakes up and stretches. Mommy, yelling. And yelling, yelling, yelling. Bored. Hermes starts wandering around the little cave. Doing what 8-hour babies do. And wandering around the little cave. At this point, he gets bored in the cave until he finds an empty turtle shell. Because apparently these are things you find in caves. And takes the turtle shell and starts banging on it. Bored again. And he takes the turtle shell, pulls out his knife, and starts poking holes into the turtle shell around the outside. Pokety, 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 pokety. Sees the turtle shell with the holes in it, goes over to the pile of guts, takes out one of the intestines, and runs the intestines back and forth through the turtle shell. Wookada, 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 and then pulls it tight, ties it off. Now it makes a musical instrument, and he can strum the little gut strings, bling, bling, ding, 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 and it makes music. So while Apollo and Maya are yelling at each other, Hermes starts playing the music. Bling, ding, 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 ding. And Apollo, mid-yelling, I can't believe you a kid. Hey, kid, what you doing? And sees him playing the music, and Hermes is like, I don't know, I'm playing this thing I have. Apollo recognizes the fact that he could use this to mack on the ladies. and Apollo likes macking on the ladies. So Apollo decides that he would really like this. Hermes, or small baby child I don't know the name of, I would really like to have that. How about you give it to me? And Hermes goes, no. And Apollo goes, how about we trade for it? Hermes goes, what you got? And Apollo goes, well, I did have a whole herd of sacred magical cows that glow in the dark, but I can't find them right now. And Hermes goes, oh, I've got a whole bunch of cows, they're over there. And Apollo turns around and goes, those are my cows! Hermes goes, well, technically they're my cows. Apollo goes, hey, how about this, kid? I really want that. How about we go ahead and trade? You keep the cows, and I get to have that, and I can go strum on it and impress the ladies. And Hermes goes, oh, so we're going to trade my turtle shell gut thing for your cows? And Apollo goes, yes. Hermes goes, deal, and hands down and shakes it. The turtle shell gut thing ends up turning into the very first musical instrument called a lyre, sometimes called a lute, depending on the version of it is. You'll see it almost every time in his posters. There's his lyre lute thing in the picture there.
There's got to be some really big
Over
guts.
here behind Brady, there's the lyre lute thing he's playing again. And then over here, lyre lute thing. All three of them in the different pictures are different versions. As long as it has some kind of opening thing and some kind of stringy thing and a spot for the shell, then you'll be good to go. Hermes begins playing with the cows. Apollo takes this shell, musical instrument, and goes back up to Mount Olympus, wandering down the halls of Mount Olympus, strumming on it, wondering how he's going to get a chance to mack on the ladies. Strummity, chicks dig me. Strummity, I'm awesome. When Zeus sees him, he goes, hey, Apollo. And Apollo goes, bling, what's up? Zeus goes, heard you lost your cows. Apollo goes, nah, that's over now. He goes, you found them? Apollo goes, yeah. And he goes, they got returned to you? And Apollo goes, kind of. He goes, so you found who stole them? And Apollo goes, yes. And Zeus goes, you tortured them. Apollo goes, no. Zeus goes, you killed them. And Apollo goes, no. Zeus goes, what'd you do? And Apollo goes, I let him keep them. Zeus goes, you found who stole your cows, and you let them keep the cows. Apollo goes, yes. And Zeus goes, why? And Apollo goes, I got this instead. Zeus goes, that's a turtle shell of guts. And Apollo goes, yes. Zeus goes, you traded your magical cows for a turtle shell with guts. Apollo goes, yes. Zeus goes, that was not smart. Apollo goes, no, that was not smart. Zeus goes, who did you trade it to? Apollo goes, a baby. Zeus goes, you traded it to a baby. Apollo's like, yes, sir. And Zeus goes, I need to meet this baby. He sounds pretty impressive. So Apollo gives directions to the cave. Zeus gets down to the cave, walks in, and goes, I want to meet this magic baby. Maya? And Maya's like, Zeus, you're back. Zeus is like, Maya, what are you doing here? I'm looking for a magic baby. And then up comes Hermes. Hermes is the age of almost a teenager by now. And Hermes comes running up. And Zeus goes, you have a kid? Maya goes, no, we have a kid. Zeus goes, no, we don't. We have a baby. And she's like, meet your baby. Zeus goes, that's weird. And he's so impressed with the fact that Hermes is a fast talker, and the fact that Hermes is so sneaky, and the fact that he was able to get the cows from Apollo. Zeus goes, you know what, kid? You need to come up with me to Mount Olympus. I'm giving you my last throne. Congratulations, you're an Olympian. And Hermes comes up and gets the throne. But while he's up there, he can't sit still. He keeps running around like, I just keep going. Take this over here. Let's go there. And Zeus is like, well, we're going to need to give you a job to burn off some energy. So what job does he give him?
Messenger.
That's why Hermes becomes the messenger god, because he's part nymph and he's part god, which gave him a whole bunch of energy, and he spent all that trying to run around. Because almost every time we see Hermes, what will he be doing?
Running.
So what you're going to do for him is say Hermes, messenger god, and then the running in place. Now, all of the thrones are filled up. Jeremy?
Well, why is there still one more?
Because the story's not done. To get to the last throne and hopefully finally bring Jeremy happiness and completion to all of this, we're going to need to fast forward in Greek mythology until eventually Zeus decides to have a new race of humans created. And we're going to get to the new race of humans. The problem with the new race of humans is they cannot see gods in their true form. It was thought that if a human saw a god in their true form, it was so majestic, so powerful, so beautiful, it would destroy a human kind. As soon as a human saw a god, if Zeus were to walk in and just go, "Hi everyone, I'm Zeus." Oh, you would just go, "Ah," and just turn into dust right there in front of him. So because of that, anytime a god wanted to interact with humans, they had to change their form. Oftentimes they would come down into human form and walk around in a human form, but they just kind of looked like a god, but they were still a human. Or they'd become a giant human to go and smash people, but you would never see a god's true form. Zeus takes the form of a human, goes down, and starts becoming friendly with a bunch of humans. One human in particular he becomes friendly with, a girl by the name of Semele, S-E-M-E-L-E. It's like simile, but all E's, Semele. And he becomes friendly with Semele, and Semele gets pregnant. Once she becomes pregnant, Zeus explains to her that this is not good. He's like, "Listen, hun, you being pregnant's not good." She's like, "Why?" He's like, "My wife is probably going to kill you." She goes, "I don't want to die." He's like, "Well, I don't want you to die. So here's what you're going to have to do. It's a really easy way to not die." She goes, "What is it?" He goes, "Don't tell anyone I'm the father of the baby. That's it. If no one knows, you'll be safe." She goes, "Oh, well, that's pretty easy." He goes, "Exactly. I'll come back in a couple weeks. I'll check up on you, see how everything is going." He's like, "Okie dokie." Time goes by, but she gets real bored. Everyone always asking, "Hey, are you pregnant?" Because they could tell. And she would say, "Yes." And they go, "Who's the father?" And she'd go, "It's a secret." And they're like, "Whatever." So one day, she breaks down. And someone says, "Who's the father?" She goes, "Okay, can you keep a secret?" And they're like, "Yeah." She goes, "It's Zeus." "No, it's not." "It is." "How did you know?" "He had a beard, and he said, 'I'm Zeus.'" I'm like, "It was probably Zeus." She's like, "I know, but you can't tell anyone because his wife's kind of cray-cray." Like, "Okay." Well, they reacted so positively that they were like, "Oh, that's so exciting." She's like, "Oh, I know." That she starts telling everyone, "Hey, are you pregnant?" "Yes." "Who's the father?" "Okay, this is on the down low. It's Zeus." "Really?" "Yeah." And so she tells the next person, and keep going from there. "Hey, who's the father?" "No, just between you and me, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Between us, Zeus is the baby daddy." And so she starts to the point where she just tells everyone, "Hey, yeah, I'm Semele. Zeus is the father. It's a secret. Don't tell anyone, okay?" And so eventually it gets back to Hera because Semele is an idiot. Hera, walking through Mount Olympus one day, and another god comes by and is like, "Hey, good news." Hera goes, "What's up?" And they go, "I've heard Zeus is going to be a father." Hera goes, No, he's not." They go, "Not with you." And Hera goes, "Ah!" Rage. So Hera decides she's going to solve this problem. She's tired of Zeus's friendliness. So she goes, "You know what? This girl's going to die. But I'm not going to kill her. I am going to make Zeus kill her." So Hera comes up with a plan to make Zeus kill Semele to teach him a lesson. Aaron?
Can't Hera and Zeus just get a divorce?
They don't really have divorce back then. Plus, they get a divorce, she doesn't get to be queen anymore. And she really likes being queen because there's lots of power that comes with it. So the plan she comes up with is she's going to take the form of an old woman. So Hera transforms herself into the form of an old woman and then goes down to Semele's village. And in Semele's village, she goes walking along. Walkity, 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 until she finds Semele. And she goes, "Hey, girl, what's your name?" And Semele's like, "My name is Semele. Zeus is the baby daddy, but don't tell anyone because his wife is a total crazy person." Hera goes, "How do you know Zeus is the father?" And Semele's like, "He had a beard," and he goes, "I'm Zeus, so obviously Zeus." Hera goes, "Couldn't that have been just a random person with a beard?" And somebody goes, "No, because he said I'm Zeus." So there you go. And Hera goes, "So it couldn't have been a random guy with a beard that just said, 'I'm Zeus'?" And somebody goes, well, how would I know it's Zeus?" Hera goes, "Well, there's one way to find out." Somebody goes, "What is it?" And Hera goes, "Well, back when I was a kid, I heard anytime you see a god's true form, they have to marry you." Somebody goes, No, if you see a god's true form, you die." Hera goes, "No, that's what they tell you. Because if you ever see a god in their true form, They have to marry you and take you up to Mount Olympus, and you get to become a god, and you get to live with them forever. Semele goes, really? And Hera goes, yes. I would never lie to a stupid person. And Semele goes, oh, thank you. And Hera goes, you're welcome. So the next time he shows up, what I need you to do is make sure that he shows you his true form. You realize I still have 2 minutes, so if you're packing up, I get to charge you points. Not that you would make that choice. It's silly. And somebody goes, okay, so well, how do I make him show his true form? And Hera goes, well, when he shows up, you just keep yelling at him until he shows his true form. If he doesn't show his true form, obviously it's just some random dude with a beard, and everyone knows you can't trust random dudes with beards. And she goes, oh, okay, sounds like a great idea. So Semele goes back to her little house and continues to wait. Weeks go by. Months go by. Zeus never shows up. She gets angrier and angrier, thinking it's just some random dude and was not Zeus, and maybe the old woman was correct. Till one day, Zeus comes back to visit. And Zeus knocks on the door. Semele goes to answer it. She opens the door and she goes, oh, it's you! And Zeus goes, hey baby, it's Zeus. And somebody goes, no it's not! He goes, no, it's Zeus. I got the beard. She's like, uh-huh. He goes, and I just said I'm Zeus. And she goes, uh-huh. Prove it. He's like, I'm Zeus? She goes, nope. If you're really Zeus, show me your true form. He goes, no, if I show you my true form, you're going to die. She goes, nope. An old lady told me the truth. Some old lady said that you'd have to marry me. And if you're really going to be Zeus, then you can show me your true form and marry me and take me up to Mount Olympus, but you're not. You're just some crazy old guy with a beard, and I don't trust you. And she starts yelling at him, getting in his face. And Zeus is like, no, really, I'm who I am. Stop yelling. She's like, no, you're a horrible person, and you're going to deal with my yell. And she just starts getting in his face and yelling and screaming. And Zeus is like, listen, you're starting to spit on me. You have to stop. She's like, you better show me your true form. Zeus goes, fine. You want to see my true form? And he goes into his true form right in front of her. And there we'll stop. Tomorrow we'll find out what happens when she sees his true form.